Now at 10, how the Missouri Department of Elementary and Secondary Education looks to provide help towards school mental health services. Plus, electric vehicle drivers have a new fast charging station in southeast Kansas. And a teacher potentially saves a life in a southwest Missouri school. We'll hear from the hero.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
More students than ever are seeking out mental health services, and counselors are finding it hard to meet the increased demand. This is KOAM News at 10. I'm Dow Quick. A $19 million grant to the Missouri Department of Elementary and Secondary Education will help schools provide services more quickly. Reporter Elizabeth Van Meter has more from Springfield, home of Missouri's largest district.
Some places I feel it's not as much as they're not able to fill the positions, they are just trying to keep up with the need.
That need for quick and readily available mental health services for students. The need that Springfield Public Schools counseling coordinator Robin Fondren says is vital to keep kids doing their job, focusing on learning.
Without the appropriate resources, we could see a lot of uptick and a lot of mental health in the community, but I think that mental health is health.
SPS says they were sent information on the new grant, something they say will help. Amy Hill from Borough Health agrees.
Looking at national data that about 80% of all kids who are ever going to receive a mental health intervention are going to do so in a school setting. So we know that if we don't bring those services to kids in schools, they most likely won't get them.
Borough Health has more than 250 full-time school-based providers. They're available in every single school district in southwest Missouri. In Springfield alone, 50 providers. But the wait for a student, still long.
We only have so many licensed providers in our state, and we need more.
The grant funds can be used to hire those professionals and contract out those positions, a way the Department of Elementary and Secondary Education hopes to combat the wait for help available to students.
So when we can have more options, then we'll have shorter wait list on the resources.
That statewide Missouri funding is available through September of next year. An official with the Spring River Christian Village in Joplin announced today they are not closing, but they say they are closing 2 neighborhoods on campus. They say they're dealing with climbing general operation costs and rising wage pressures. The organization determined they couldn't continue operation with 2 neighborhoods serving skilled nursing and long-term care. The last day of operation will be April 22nd. However, the remaining buildings will stay operational. The old Joplin Courts building is being torn down with the arrival of the new Courts building already in use. The new building is at 633 South Pearl. The side of the old building is going to become part of the parking lot for the new Jasper County Court Division South 29th Judicial Circuit Court. The demolition is a weeks-long process. Chief Meteorologist Doug Heddy joins us now with a first look at the weather.
Well, of course, we had showers, we had thunderstorms during the morning hours, but once we got into the afternoon, it turned out to be a pretty good day. It was windy, but temperatures, they went to 68. Normal highs 52, so it actually really turned out to be a nice afternoon. All right, over a ½ inch of rain, over 2.5 for the month. We're sitting at 4.25 for the year, so we're actually above average, which is good because we were so behind in 2022. All right, behind those storms, we cleared out. We got some pretty good rainfall amounts where you see the green showing us at least a ½ inch, upwards to 1 inch, really from Grand Lake up towards Seneca. So some pretty good amounts of rain. Now the colder air is spilling in. Look at this cold front. It's now in our southeastern counties. Temperatures are dropping, will continue to drop. We're going to talk more about that here in just a bit.
See you soon. Travelers in southeast Kansas can now charge their electric vehicles more quickly. KOAM's Yana Hautala was there for the opening ceremony of the first fast charging station in Pittsburgh.
Contacted the university and they said, yeah, we need to get something downtown, so I gifted them a charger.
Electric vehicle owners can now stop by downtown Pittsburgh for the first fast charging station in southeast Kansas, thanks to native and Pittsburgh State graduate Kelly Burgess.
Typically in a house you find what's called a level 2 AC charger. This is actually a level 3 DC fast charger. So it's about 4 times faster than what you'd get in your house. So this has the capability of charging most EVs in about 2 hours, which is perfect to come down here and grab a drink and a burger or your favorite entree and enjoy downtown.
Cost to charge for 2 hours is around $20. Residents enjoy the new addition.
If the charge is down, say, and my wife says, hey, we want to go to Joplin for something, and I don't have 30 miles of charge, this would be handy there, because it takes a lot longer to charge with my home one.
The charging station, located at the Colonial Fox Theater parking lot, works with a Switch Energy app, which users can download in their phone. The station can also be found from charger apps.
And if somebody's traveling by here, this will be on the PlugShare database. I've known him since he was about that tall, so yeah, I think it was pretty neat.
Closest station compared to this would be in Joplin.
We knew we needed to do something, and having grown up here, and all these people that at this event were instrumental in my development, so it was time for me to give back.
In Pittsburgh, Janna Hautala, KOAM News.
Pittsburgh coordinated the logistics of the installation with Evergy and provided infrastructure with new striping and posts. Pittsburgh State University today hosted a contest for area high school students to show off their automotive skills. That was at the Kansas Technology Center. Officials say the free event for juniors and seniors in automotive programs encourages teamwork and gives these students an opportunity to display their skills.
Yeah, we're seeing a lot of students coming in, especially with the electrical vehicles that we're starting to see. It's piquing different students' interest in that area, so we're getting a lot more students that are coming into the program. The traditional students that still like the gas engines, of course, but we're starting to get more influx in of students that are intrigued by the electrical side of it.
Stations were set up ranging from alignments to engine repair to electrical diagnosis. A Neosho Middle School teacher saves a student from choking. Teacher Savannah Roth was alerted by a student that another student was choking on a quarter. Roth performed abdominal thrusts on the choking student, dislodging the coin.
Everybody has been very supportive. I'm not one to usually like to be in the limelight, but everybody's been wonderful about it. And my students, I love my students. They know I love them, and I would absolutely do it again for them without hesitation.
Roth received CPR training when she was in college. Chanute, Kansas is celebrating its 150th birthday. The city, which was founded in 1872, has a railroad hub and has planned a series of events and activities to mark this milestone. The planning committee, made up of community members and local leaders, has been working hard to ensure the celebrations are inclusive and engaging for residents of all ages. The festivities will kick off in July with a block party through downtown Chanute, showcasing floats, live music, and performances from local groups. Resident feedback was important in planning the festivities.
Well, we started with a survey of our citizens that said, tell us what you'd like to see us do for the 150th. What activities would you like? What sort of historical information would you like?
In the late 19th century, Chanute became a hub for the oil industry as oil was discovered in the area. Coming up, a teenager is in custody following the shooting deaths of 3 people, including a child, in Florida. Plus, a man treks across the U.S. in support of homeless veterans. A preliminary hearing started today for the suspect in the Club Q shooting in Colorado Springs in November of last year. 22-year-old Anderson Lee Aldrich is charged in the shooting at the LGBTQ club that left 5 people dead and 17 others injured. Today's hearing is the first day of a 3-day trial to determine if the evidence supports hate crime charges against Aldrich. And the investigation officers say they found evidence that Aldrich ran a neo-Nazi website and used anti-gay and racial slurs while playing online games. 60 years to life in prison. That's the punishment for the man convicted in the shooting death of rapper Nipsey Hussle. Eric Holder was sentenced during a hearing in Los Angeles today. A jury determined that Holder shot Hussle outside the hip-hop artist's clothing store in March of 2019. Prosecutors allege that Holder approached Hussle over allegations he had called him a snitch. Hussle was a Grammy-winning musician. He collaborated with dozens of artists, including Drake, 2 Chainz, and Kendrick Lamar. 3 people, including a television news reporter and a 9-year-old girl, were killed in separate shootings near Orlando that police say are connected. Reporter Christian Benavides reports.
Sheriff's deputies first responded to a deadly shooting in a residential area of Pine Hills, Florida, Wednesday morning.
They found a woman who was in her 20s who was shot and succumbed to her injuries.
And then in the late afternoon came 911 calls about 2 additional shootings.
Deputies located 2 men who had been shot in or near a vehicle. They are a News 13 reporter and photographer who were on the scene to cover the homicide from this morning.
The journalists reported for Spectrum News 13. Inside a home on another street, police found a woman and her 9-year-old daughter who had also been shot. The little girl later died from her injuries.
No one in our community, not a mother, not a 9-year-old, and certainly not news professionals, should become the victim of gun violence in our community.
Police have arrested 19-year-old Keith Melvin Moses, who they say is responsible for all the shootings.
He has a lengthy criminal history to include gun charges, aggravated battery and assault with a deadly weapon, burglary, and grand theft charges.
Police say the suspect knew the woman who was shot first. It's unclear why he allegedly targeted the news crew. Cristian Benavides, CBS News.
Police say at this time they don't have a motive for the 3 shootings. Spectrum released a statement that says, quote, "We are deeply saddened by the loss of our colleague and the other lives senselessly taken today." The U.S. could default on its debt as soon as June, according to a Washington think tank. The debt default could take place if Congress doesn't act to lift the debt limit. The Bipartisan Policy Center says the country will reach its statutory debt limit as soon as summer or early fall of 2023. The December 2022 spending bill, high interest rates, and an extended pause on repayments of student loans are all said to be contributing factors. The government can't do much about rising mortgage rates, but the Biden administration still wants to make home ownership more affordable. The federal government is trying to do that by lowering mortgage insurance premiums. They currently stand at 0.85%, and that change will lower them to 0.55%. That's expected to save an estimated 850,000 home buyers about $800 on financing costs this year. A little bit later, some 4-staters look to kick off their futures at 2 area career fairs. We'll visit both of them.
Plus, it's turning colder outside. We're going to have those details coming up. Well, it definitely turned out to be kind of a wild day for us today. Showers, thunderstorms during the morning hours, some stronger ones. And then we got sunshine and the wind during the afternoon, and we pressed 70 degrees. Now we have clear skies, cooling down. Indigo Sky Casino and Resort. Look at the temps. Look at the range. You got 59 in Anderson and Bentonville. You dropped to 46 in Joplin, 40 in Pittsburgh, 33 in Chanute, down to 30 in Yates Center. So that colder air is spilling in across the region. That's what we're going to continue to see tonight. This is actually an Arctic air mass. The Arctic air is going to stay to our north, but we're going to get the polar Canadian air. So quite a bit cooler tonight, and then as we go into the next couple days. Now, super windy for us today. At least the winds are calming down a bit. I do think they'll start to pick back up a little bit later on tonight, and then we'll just call it breezy over the next couple days. 46, northerly winds at 8, humidity is at 48% through the rest of the overnight hours. Clear skies, we drop back to 33, and then we start to warm up slowly, but we're going to have sunshine tomorrow. So Thursday is looking pretty good. All right, clear skies right now. There's thunderstorms we had this morning way off toward the east, moving into parts of Pennsylvania, all the way down through parts of Tennessee. And then we got the ongoing blizzard across the northern plains where they have seen anywhere from 1 to 2 feet of snow with this storm system over the past 48 hours. All right, it's still going to be breezy out there. Wind gusts 15 to 20 by morning. They calm down a little bit during the afternoon, pick back up a little bit as we go into Friday. So that's why we're just going to say breezy over the next couple days. Let's step through time. We're going to stop tomorrow morning, low to mid 30s, clear skies, sunshine all day long. Warming near 40 by noon. Most of us in that 40 to 45 degree range. Northern counties, you guys will stay in the 30s. Iola, Chanute, Yates Center. As we go into tomorrow night, it gets cold. Most of us down from 20 to about 25 degrees. Clouds increase throughout the daytime hours on Friday. Still chilly, upper 40s. Now, late in the day, we're going to start to get a few random showers. The pink here is maybe even a little bit of sleet mixed in. Very light, but some light showers late Friday night into Saturday morning. Here's your day planner. 34 to start, 38 by noon, high of 44. We back to 41 by 5 p.m. As we go into the weekend, even on Saturday, a few showers could sneak in. These chances are fairly low and very scattered, but on Sunday, they start to go up. Scattered showers increase late Sunday, and then look at this, Sunday night, another band of showers and thunderstorms across the region into Monday morning. All right, 44 tomorrow, 25 tomorrow night, 46 on Friday. We do have those on and off showers into the weekend, but look at our temperatures. They start to warm up. 64 on Sunday, 62 with those thunderstorms on Monday. Tuesday looks great, 65, 62 on Wednesday. Rain and snow chances back in the forecast next Thursday and Friday.
We still need some rain. Don't like the sound of that overnight low tomorrow night.
Yeah, it's going to be quite a bit colder, and plus with the wind, it makes it feel colder.
Not bad. Thanks, John. Pitt State hosted a career fair today at the Overman Student Center. Hundreds of people attended.
There is just a lot of employers here in the ballroom. We have 143 employers here, so we're really excited about that number. Lots of activity, and there's just a lot more interest in recruiting here at Pitt State this semester, it seems.
Yeah, a lot of employers, vendors, companies were there. Missouri Southern also held a career fair today at the Billingsley Student Center. That fair was a chance for area schools to recruit talent from area colleges and universities as current teachers retire or move out of the district.
So far, some of our jobs are just now opening, so it's pretty early in the recruitment season. But we like what we have, the applicants that we have applying, and we look forward to interviewing those people.
46 schools and organizations were at that fair. Coming up, KOAM Nation announces money is going to its citizens. And still ahead, 143 days, 10 pairs of shoes, all to support our nation's veterans. We're going to hear from a man whose journey across the country was all on foot. Leaders with KOAM Nation have voted to release $10 million from the American Rescue Plan Act to citizens of the nation. Officials say the form to receive the distribution will be available beginning April 3rd on the KOAM Nation website. There'll be 3 tiers for elders, adults, and children. KOAM Nation first received the funds in 2020. A 25-year-old walked from New Jersey to California in 143 days. Walked. Took him only 10 pairs of shoes to do it. His goal, to raise funds for homeless veterans nationwide. Reporter Rena Nakano has that story.
10 pairs of shoes and 143 days later, 25-year-old Tommy Pasquale has made it to Venice Beach.
Walked all the way from Jersey, Pennsylvania, Maryland, Virginia, Tennessee, into Arkansas, Texas, New Mexico, Arizona, and here to sunny California.
Accompanied only by his souped-up shopping cart, which he named American Girl.
She's a sturdy gal. She's a bit on the heavy side, but she's made it all the way here.
His journey began at the Atlantic Ocean in Manasquan, New Jersey on September 19th. His goal, to raise awareness and money for the National Coalition for Homeless Veterans. He says it's a cause that's deeply personal to him.
I have a lot of family and friends who are veterans and active duty, and I think it's a bit shameful that brave men and women go serve and protect this country and then come home and not have a place to hang their hat at the end of the day.
He trekked 20 to 30 miles a day exploring the nation while meeting many homeless veterans as he pitched his tent along the way. He even got to try some local favorites.
In-N-Out Burger.
The verdict?
A little overrated, I'm not gonna lie.
Agree to disagree, but what we can all agree on is his incredible feat as he jumped into the Pacific Ocean, finishing his grueling journey.
It was a little cold, but this is probably the best swim I've ever had.
I'm very proud of my son.
Parents Rosanna and Peter say Tommy called every day to update them on his journey.
This is one moment where he has proven himself to be more than we could have ever hoped for as a human being and as a son.
Pasquale says there were some days where he wanted to give up and jump on a plane, but he somehow found the strength in himself and the cause to keep going.
Have a dream, you gotta go for it.
And now that he's done, what's next?
I'm ready to go home and get a job though, and maybe sit in the office for a while.
Well deserved.
Get a job, take it easy. By the end of his journey, Pasquale raised more than $40,000 in GoFundMe donations for the National Coalition for Homeless Veterans. USA Softball Hall of Fame Stadium in Oklahoma City has a brand new piece of public art. It's a massive sculpture. It was installed yesterday morning. It's supposed to resemble a ball bouncing off a building. The artist, Pete Beeman, says the idea had been in the back of his head for around 15 years. The sculpture cost $200,000. The Wind versus a Reporter. We're going to show you who won next.
Just early in the afternoon. Wow, well there's a great example.
Yeah, great example. Ever been so windy? That ever happened to you? This is in Las Vegas for a reporter. The reporter was live on the scene when the wind just, boom, knocked him off his feet, literally. As you can see, he appears to be fine after all of that. I'd like to say that what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas, but we're going to be getting some windy conditions here as well. Not quite like that, I don't believe, Doug Hetty. I don't know.
I don't know. To knock them over has to be pretty strong.
I would think, yes. If, unless you're wearing, a sail or something.
True.
We need to have a windbreaker.
Sure.
Didn't break the wind.
No, not at all. It's still going to be a little bit, we'll call it breezy. Not as windy as what we had today. Tomorrow into Friday. Tomorrow, plenty of sunshine, but look at our high. It's only 44 degrees.
Thanks for joining us. Morning show starts at 5 a.m. Let's make it a great tomorrow.